Hey y'all. Hey y'all, we're gonna make bread using water, flour, salt, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of honey, and some yeast. Let's get started. Alright, we have our ingredients measured out. So we have, the recipe calls for 4.5 cups of flour. So I put 4 cups of bread flour and then 1/2 cup of flaxseed meal. And then we have, we'll get to the olive oil and the honey. So right here I have salt and yeast. So 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast and 2 1/2 teaspoons of salt. And then we have 1 2/3 cup of warm water. So what I'm going to do is, in my large mixing bowl, I'm going to put my warm water, and then I'm going to mix my yeast and salt in together. And this lets distribute the yeast in the warm water, let it start getting happy. And then we'll have says honey. We're going to do about 2 tablespoons of honey. Now the recipe calls for sugar, but I'm substituting sugar for honey, or honey for sugar. And the olive oil is optional. I'm just going to add a little bit of oil in it. Some recipes call for butter or oil. It's not necessary. This particular recipe did not call for it. I've used other recipes to where it called for oil or butter. And so I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in there. And then I'm going to dump my flour in, and we'll start getting it mixed up. Alright, I'm no baker, but we're gonna let this rest. I'm gonna clean this bowl out. Let it rest. So we got our bread, it's risen. So we're gonna punch it down. So it took a while. It wasn't doing a whole lot. So what I did was I put the bowl in the oven and just put it on warm. And then it really started taking off, rising. So what I'm going to do, you roll it in a tight ball. And I'm going to get the oven preheated. I'm going to let this rise a touch more. Get the oven preheated and then preheat a Dutch oven. So I'm going to put this in a Dutch oven or a black iron pot in the oven and bake it in that. So what I like about it is it's got a top on it. So you bake it for 20-25 minutes covered, and it generates steam inside the pot, which helps it to do its thing. And once the last 10 minutes, take the cover off, and then that helps it to get a good crust on it. So I'm gonna let this rise a touch more and get the oven preheated, and then we'll throw it in there and take it out and have some good, hopefully some good hot homemade bread. Alright, so our bread has been back in the bowl. It looks like it's got a little more rise to it. So the oven is preheated to 450, and I'm going to take the pot out. What? This is not for you. And I'm going to put a little bit of butter. I preheated the pot, so the pot is hot. So there's a little bit of butter I'm going to put on the bottom. And it's probably going to smoke a little. And I'm just moving the butter around just enough to coat the bottom of the pot. Be careful, the pot is very hot. Put this aside. We'll go ahead and put our cuts. Always do the H. Now this goes in covered for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, and then once 30 minutes is done, we'll set a timer. Then we'll do 12 minutes uncovered. Excuse me, ma'am. Alright, I think it's ready to pull her out. We had the lid off. And she is hot. Looks pretty good. It smells amazing. So I'm gonna let it cool for a little bit. It's kind of hard to let it cool. I want to just bust it open, but I'm gonna let it cool for a little bit and then eat a little bit of bread. It's got a nice crust on it. It's got a nice soft inside, not very not a lot of air pockets, but I'm fine with that. I like it more like a sandwich type bread like this, that you can spread stuff and whatnot on there. So me personally, there's nothing better than a little bit of honey on some nice warm fresh baked bread. That'll do in a pinch right there.